I'm back. It's been a couple of months. Kitty's back too, she's here. It's been a couple of months since my last video, and for that I apologize. Had a lot of stuff going on and didn't have a lot of ambition to put anything together, so my videos kind of got put on the back burner. Quite honestly, I probably wouldn't be making one today either if Mike over at Terrainscapes hadn't been poking me and prodding me to get back into making my videos. So thank you, Mike. If you've ever looked into building your own terrain before, you've probably already come across some of his videos on his YouTube channel. He's been at it a long time and he's really good at what he does, and he's nice enough to put videos together on a more regular basis than I do. So just put Terrainscapes into the YouTube search panel and you'll pull up the whole big list of stuff he's already done. Quite honestly, when someone that high up in the terrain community encourages you to keep at your videos, you should probably listen to them. So that's what I'm doing. Wasn't quite sure what I should cover, but recently one of the things I've been busy doing is my husband and I are house hunting. It'll be a while, we haven't found anything yet, but being the way I am, I'm worrying about moving already. So I want to take all my half-finished projects that I've abandoned and finish them, hopefully sell them, so I don't have to pack them up and haul them somewhere. So I've had this little treehouse dealie. I just bought cork round. You can get these at the pet store in like the lizard terrarium area. You can get full rounds like this where it's completely cylindrical or cut in half and it's just natural cork bark. I just took one of those, put a roof on it, put a door on it, threw some windows and bricks in there. So I'm just finishing him up and then I'll put it on my website to sell. But I had one of my followers ask me how I made the roof. And it's actually a design I've done a couple of times in the past. So I thought I'd cover that today, kind of give you some options of different ways I've done it in the past. This is kind of a more simple structure. So we'll go over some of that today, and then hopefully I'll find something else to make another video on sooner rather than later. So if we could do an x-ray of this roof to see the inside structure, we would find a large cone that goes in about that far, with a smaller cone set on top, smaller cone on top of that, and so on until we reach a peak. And they're just all kind of taped together, lopsided, to give us the kind of worn, rickety, aged effect. I have this little wizard watchtower thingy that I put together last night just to have something to add a roof to, and it's small enough I can finish it in a day, where something like this usually takes me some time to get all those shingles in place. But this is what we're going to be working with today. And then to build the structure on the inside, I usually just use like cereal box cardboard. A lot of food packaging is the same thing. It's very flexible, sturdy cardboard. Like TV dinners will come in it, you know, chip boxes, whatever. And what we're going to do is just draw a circle and cut a wedge out of it to bend it into a cone. The only thing you want to keep in mind while you're doing this, because I don't measure anything, especially for something like this, if it's lopsided, it just kind of adds to the character of the piece. But if you want to, you know, pull out your geometry skills and make a perfect circle and all that, you feel free. I'm not going to. But the only thing I want to make sure that I do is make my circle big enough, because as we cut that slice out and pull it together, it's actually going to shrink the diameter of our circle, and I want it a little bit bigger than what we have to give it a little overhang. So I'm just going to eyeball it. And we're just going to cut a slice in approximately to center, and then another slice to take a wedge out. And really, how much you take out is going to depend on the steepness you want for your cone. I would prefer to start with something with a kind of a shallow grade pitch to it, so I'm actually not going to take very much out at first, and if it's not good enough, I'll just take some more out, erring on the side of less, so that if I don't like it, I can take out more instead of cut a new circle. Gingerly bring those two seams together. Test fit it. If my circle is a little bigger than it probably needed to be, I'm just gonna trim some off, try it again. That's probably good. So I'm just going to overlap these two seams and then tape it with my masking tape. So if you can see that. That's the first layer, little Raiden hat for your building. And then I'm just gonna make a smaller circle with a tighter slope, a little tighter peak to it, and then just progressively make them smaller. It won't take too many stages since we're starting pretty small in the first place, that the cardboard just won't be able to tolerate the bend. So I'll work on that and catch up with you when I'm done. Okay, it's actually kind of harder with making little circles, but if you make something bigger, it'll be easier if you want to try that your first time. But another good thing about using cereal box is you can just bend it to form it into a more dramatic curve, and the masking tape kind of bends with it and holds it in place. So if you wanted to, you could attach it to your building like this and start adding shingles. But right now I'm going to start working on making an extra twist at the top. And actually, I forgot to bring a very integral part of that process upstairs. So I'm going to put you on hold and run down and get me some aluminum foil. Okay, here's the deal on how I do the swirl at the end of the roof. I typically use oven baked clay. This is apparently Sculpting 3 oven baked clay. It's probably just what was on sale. I have used air drying clay before on a different project. I personally didn't like it. It could have been the brand or something, but I wasn't real happy with the consistency of it, and it stuck to my fingers more than anything else, and it was kind of a hassle to rush and get it into position before it would dry up and not be malleable. So I kind of stick with the oven baked clay so I can take my time and get it right, and it's a little more responsive to the way I like to build things. So that's what I stick with, but I can't just add it to this structure like I could an air dry clay where I could just build right on top of this. But since this is flammable, I don't want to put it in my oven. So I take a little sheet of aluminum foil and I just wrap this piece so I can use it as my structure to build my clay off of, and then easily remove it and just put the clay in the oven. Kind of press it around nice and tight. So now we have this cute little tinfoil hat. No one's reading the brain waves of our building. And then I grab some clay. I'm just kind of flattening out, and then I'll press it on here and form my roof. Now I could just do the peak if I wanted to, and then after it's baked, glue it onto the cardboard structure we had inside. Otherwise, could coat the whole thing, and after it's baked, just add the clay to my building and basically trash this. I think that's what I'm going to do because it's not very big and I'm not wasting a lot of clay, and that way our roof isn't top heavy, because the clay is going to weigh more than just a piece of cardboard. So I'm just going to make it all out of clay, flatten it out, press it on, and then add a little extra bulk at the top that I can spin out into a spiral. If you really like working with clay, or if you're just trying to find a way to speed up the process a little bit, yeah, you could smooth this out a little better than I have. I wasn't too worried about filling the gaps and getting rid of the lumps, since it's just going to get covered with shingles anyway. But if you aren't interested in doing that, you could probably go through and etch in some shingles with like a toothpick, or if you have sculpting tools, or maybe like a textured fabric like burlap, or I don't know, some other texture thing you have laying around, and just kind of press it in to the clay before you bake it. I'm still gonna stick with the shingles. For some reason I like mindless, repetitive, time-consuming activities, so that's my plan. So first of all, I'm just going to very carefully peel the tin foil off the cardboard form I made. So that came out, and we can put this whole top part into the oven. The tin foil doesn't matter. If you are using oven baked clay, please read your directions on how long and at what temperature you should put it at. Mine says something or another. 275 Fahrenheit or 130 Celsius for 15 minutes per quarter inch, which I'm pretty sure means the density. So I probably have maybe a quarter inch at this thickest part here at the top. So I'll put it in for 15 minutes and come check back with you when I'm done. Okay, so here we are, fresh out of the oven. That swirl is pretty solid, it's not going anywhere. So I can just peel out the tin foil. And then I will start adding the shingles. I'm probably going to attach it to the building itself first though, so I can have some shingles around the edge hanging down past my structure. And then I'm not setting it on my desk and bending those out as I work on it. So I have my hot glue gun all set and ready to go, and then I'll just add a ring and attach it to my building first. Okay, that's attached on there pretty well, and I think we're ready to start cutting some shingles for it. I decided to not use the circles I already had that I used on the larger piece, just because I think it's going to be hard to work with at this size. For a couple wizard towers I've done before, I cut just squares of varying sizes and use that to go around. And I've done like a diamond shape, which is what I think I'm going to use on this. I think it'll be a nice contrast to the square blocks that are already around the building. And I think it looks a little more evil, a little creepier to have the pointy shingles. You can either cut them out of the cereal box like we used for the structure of the roof. Otherwise I have some junk mail, a postcard that came yesterday or the day before. It's a little thinner than the cereal boxes, so I think it'll bend easier around the tight curves of the roof. So I'm just going to cut some strips off of this. Again, not really measuring anything. I am going to cut them at different sizes because I can use wider shingles around the base, and then smaller ones will work better around the curl at the top. So I'm just going to cut some at varying widths. Then to make the diamond shape, I take this strip, and instead of just straight cutting squares out of it, I tilt my scissors at an angle and cut the tip off, so I have like a beveled edge, and then just follow parallel along the strip at an angle, and that'll give us a diamond shape. So I'll just go through and cut all the strips like that, and I should have a big pile of little diamonds here to work with. I'm sure you could probably go buy like confetti or something in special shapes and kind of save this step. I don't really like paying for things if I don't have to, because I have more time, it seems, than money. So I will sit here and cut little diamonds out rather than go search down diamond confetti. What you could also do, and I've done in the past for more straight, flat roofs for like realistic buildings, is cut a wider strip out of your paper or whatever you're using, and then just cut slits into it so it's more like a fringe. So we still have a solid piece of paper with all these little flaps in it. These flaps will stick up and look like shingles, and then you can do another strip on top of that and layer it one strip at a time. It'll save you some time rather than doing each shingle individually. Since we're working in a round, you would have to figure out the circumference for each one, and it would gradually get smaller. If you want to do that, that's fine. I don't. I'd rather just sit and do all this putsy work. So that should keep me busy for a little bit. If I need to cut more as I go, I will, but I'm just going to start adding them to the roof. I'm just going to use some PVA glue to get started, and then as I go towards the tip, probably switch to like a super glue because it dries faster and the shingles won't shift as I'm trying to layer things on top of them. And yeah, this could be a while. Normally for something like this, you know, just do it while I'm watching TV and a movie. Right now I'm binge watching some shows on Netflix, so have a drink, have my show, I'll start putting shingles on. Sorry for cutting out on you there. Apparently my memory card was full, but that's okay. I think you got the gist. I started with some larger shingles and then just started layering And as I went up, I started using smaller diamonds. Took maybe 3 or 4 hours. But pretty much I ran out of episodes in my show before I ran out of roof to do. So that's always fun. But I got it done. Did the little side towers as well. Added a little cone topper at the tip. So yeah, I kind of like the diamond scales. It looks kind of, you know, dragon-ish. I know it's kind of hard to tell what's going on with all the print and stuff on the paper. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint everything, and let's take a look at it before I say goodbye. So I got a little sidetracked during the painting process, and it's a new day, but I have it all set here for you to get a cohesive glance of what the roof looks like when it's all the same color. And I just base coated it with black. See that? Did a couple different shades of purple and then dry brushed a highlight on it to help bring out each individual shingle. So yeah, hopefully this gave you an idea on some things to play with to kind of make your roofs a little more unique. I think it's an easy way to add a little more character to just like a basic building. And like I said, I'm kind of trying to clean house right now, so I'll put a quick base on this guy and throw him up for sale on my website, along with that big treehouse guy we showed you at the beginning. There's a couple things I want to add to his base first, but he'll get up there pretty quick. I have an observatory up there already if you want to see that. It's just been hanging out on my shelf for years, so go take a look at that. I have a couple other small projects up there right now too, but as I finish things I'm going to throw them up there and just kind of get them out of my hair right now. Coming up next, I have another video I'd like to work on. I saw a tutorial on some trees using a technique I hadn't seen before, so kind of want to give that a shot and then hopefully share with you what I learned through that process. Yeah, until that comes around, you can follow me on Facebook and Google Plus and Twitter and all those wonderful internet things that I'll have scrolling around here at the bottom. Other than that, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and we'll see you next time. Bye.